Record. Welcome to Play to Win, 5 keys to maximize and monetize in the year 2022. I'm going to jump on in. Thank you guys for engaging with me in the chat. I'm all about answering questions. So if you guys have any questions throughout this entire presentation, drop them in the chat or write them down. I'm going to do a full out question and answer at the very end. You've already gotten a special offer because you were on ahead of time. So kudos to you for being on time. My mama always told me that good things happen to those who are on time. I'm still working on it, but good things have happened to you already. So let's dive on in. I'm going to share my screen. But again, if you have any questions, please write those down, drop them in the chat. I'm here to give you guys the best of me for the next 45, 50 minutes. So with that being said, again, welcome to Play to Win. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you all. I didn't want to do this webinar to start out the year. In years past, I've always done a virtual vision board party or some sort of like life mindset situation where it's like it was more fun. And this is not going to be fun. This whole situation, this whole 45-minute teaching, pushing, brainstorm, whatever you want to call it, I am here to push you and to stretch you to be absolutely uncomfortable. Last year, I had the beautiful revelation, and finally I became okay with the fact that the more that I'm uncomfortable, the better off the better my chances of getting a major reward are. Hear me, the more you're uncomfortable, the better your chances of getting a major reward is or are. One of the things that I had to learn during the middle of the pandemic, whatever you want to call it, was that when I got okay with being uncomfortable, I was willing to step out into things that I had always procrastinated on or procrastinated with. And I was willing to just kind of say, you know what, whatever happens, happens. Now, I'm not sure if you guys are any of the people that have those kind of mentalities or mindsets. Whatever happens, happens. But I recognize that people that live their life like that have a huge dose of faith that says, you know what, whether they believe in God, universe, or whatever, the ancestors, that whatever's going to happen is going to happen. But at least I'm willing to put myself in position to get what it is I want. And that's what this year 2022 is all about. Putting yourself in position to get and obtain that in which you want. I'm not sure if you guys have done this. I'm a big homework person, but if you have not done this already, first homework assignment, actually write out what you want out of this year. If somebody wants to set themselves up to be our note taker, our scribe, put that in the chat. Homework assignment number 1. Write out what you actually want out of this year. I can tell you guys, 10 days in, I've sat with visionaries and business owners who are afraid to make goals. Now think about that. You know you want to be big time. You know you want to be on television. You know you want your books all over the world. You know you want people to be booking your services or viewing your content, but yet you're afraid to set goals. And to me, somebody who's afraid to set goals is really somebody who's afraid to take those necessary steps to get what they want. One of the great things about life is that when you become okay with, hey, you know what? I don't know how some people live like it, but I live like this. I always have a plan, because at least at the end of the day, I know with my plan, I am going to get a desired result, hopefully, or some sort of outcome. People who can walk around when it comes to life, and sometimes definitely in business with no plan, have automatically set themselves up to fail. Hear me, if you are in business, or if your business is people, or you're building an endeavor, or you're a visionary, if you don't have a goal written somewhere, and I mean written tangibly, you are already on a fast track to failure. And not only are you on a fast track to failure, you are on a fast track to settling for less than. Think about it. If you don't know that, if you never had the boldness to write down, hey, I want to make 50K in my business this year, in addition to my full-time job. When you get to 10K, you'll be so thankful about the 10, like, oh my God, I made 10. No. There's 40K left for me somewhere. There's 40K left for me that I need to tap into and push myself to access. Real simple, right? So setting goals is not just about having mile markers at the end of the year. It's about setting yourself up for some sort of active accountability. Active accountability. Your goals also serve and set themselves up to be active accountability. I'm telling you, when you recognize, hey, I want to make 50K in a year, and you make that 10K, and you're looking like it's September and I made 10K, the first thing you're going to do is go into self-assessment, go into retrospective thinking. Hey, what did I not do? Where did I not press the gas? Where did I set my price points too low that made me miss my goal? Because based upon the amount of clients I've had or people I've serviced, I should have been a lot much closer to that 50K goal. But yet somewhere I'm in the 10K realm or to the 10K range. That is why goals are important, but we're going to dive into a whole lot more than that. But that is, I guess you can say, my little intro, and let's work. So play to win. So for those who don't know me, or those who may have been signed up by a friend or referred to me or referred here via Instagram or Facebook or whatever, my name is Coach Ed. My real name is Evan S. Brown, and I help visionaries increase their impact and make more money through strategic planning, innovative concepts, and social media. That's my niche. That's my niche. That's what I do. I help visionaries increase their impact and make more money. Why do I have it split up like that? It's because some people have purpose-driven endeavors that are all about impact. But I'm a firm believer that if you scale your impact and set your impact up to work for you, you can always make money. I'm a firm believer that you can and should make $1 and a difference at the same time. I'm gonna say it again. You can and should make $1 and a difference at the same time, but it takes strategic planning. It takes innovative concepts. And lastly, it takes social media. Now, I don't want to drag or dive into that too far right now, but I'm gonna tell you this for the first gut check. If you and your personal brand, your business brand, your endeavor, your nonprofit, your ministry, whatever it may be, whatever brought you to this webinar, if you are not active on social media, you don't really want to win. I'm gonna say it again. If you are not active on social media, you don't want to win. Let me ask you this. There are so many people that I sit with every day. People DM me all the time like, hey, you know what, man? It's just this social media thing is hard. This content creation thing is hard. This scheduling stuff, all of this is so difficult. And I'm like, that's the difference between you making a little money and a whole lot of money. Think about it. Your willingness to embrace what social media is and what it can do for you and your endeavor and your visibility is the difference between you making a whole lot of money and a little money. A lot of us, and we're going to be 100% honest tonight, a lot of us have been okay with the little money, or we were okay with the little money for a moment. And now we're like, no. I believe in myself. I believe in my dream. I know my stuff is legit. I know my stuff is great. I know it works, but yet I'm not seeing the return on investment. I'm not seeing the profit margins in my business increase. What am I doing wrong? I guarantee you 8 times out of 10, that person is doing social media wrong. If you are not able to see a return on investment outside of those that have poor quality products and services, if you are not seeing some maximum engagement and possible opportunities to convert people to growth, to your mailing list, or to your purchase, to clients, you are more than likely not utilizing social media to your advantage. And that's what I do. I help visionaries increase their impact and make more money through strategic planning, innovative concepts, and social media. Now, before we dive all the way into Play to Win, this workshop, let me tell you what 2022 is supposed to be for you. Think about it. I said supposed to for a reason. 2020 is supposed to be the year that brings you big results. 2022 is supposed to be the year that brings you big results, but it's only going to bring you big results if you choose to go for it. Let me tell you what I did. I have a little snippet going on right here on Instagram, but 2022 is supposed to be the year that you have big results, but you're only going to get that if you choose to go for it. Now, your it may be different from mine. Your it may be service-based. Your it may be changing your community. Whatever your it may be, this year, you are supposed to have big results. But if you don't go for it, you will not get those big results. There's no if and buts about it. If you don't go for it, it's not happening. Let's dive into the 5 keys to maximize and monetize in 2022. Let me tell you what the first key is. You have got to start this year off absolutely, positively afraid of absolutely nothing. My PowerPoint says you've got to start this year fearless. Let me tell you what happens when we get locked up in fear. When you get locked up in fear, you end up procrastinating. You end up not doing stuff you could have done. You end up also doing things at a lesser level of excellence and momentum. One of the things about fear is and I'm not trying to give you a sermon, but I'm giving you the truth. Fear will keep you broke. Fear will actually put you in a position and put you in rooms and tables where you automatically walk in feeling less than, feeling like you have nothing to offer, but it's because you're walking into a room with a bunch of people who said, I've always known Instagram, I would say what I want to say, people who said, forget fear, I'm going after my stuff. Think about it. How many times have you been in a room or a space or been at a table where people are talking about their goals, their dreams, their ambitions, and what they're doing, and you sat there like, man, I ain't doing it. I'm not going for it. And the only difference between you and them is they said, man, forget all of this. I'm absolutely going to go for it. What I have highlighted right under there, guys, I know you can see the PowerPoint. What does it say? It says calculated risk. When you recognize that fear needs to get out of your mind and get out of your life, and don't look at it, fear is like, hey, you know what? I'm afraid. I can't do this. Look at it as this. I got to take a calculated risk or two. Hear me. Look at fear, not like fear like how you have in the past that's kept you bound, that has kept you stagnant and not moving forward. Look at fear as this. Hey, you know what? I know I have to make one or two calculated risks. I know that my calculated risk will make, I'm going to be nervous. I'm not going to be able to always see it or plan it, but I'm not going to let the calculated risk, the one or two calculated risks that I need to take, instill fear in me to the point where I don't do what I'm supposed to do altogether. Hear me. If you allow fear to drive you, you will not live the life that you want to live. You will not touch the stuff that you want to touch. You will not go to the places you want to go. You will not even be in the rooms you're supposed to be in. Because realistically, fear, we look at fear as like, oh my God, my fear to jump out there and start a business, or my fear to jump out there and tell people I'm good at what I do. That's keeping the people away from knowing the fact that, hey, you know what, you're available, that you're accessible, and that you're able to help them go forward. If I would have chose to live in fear, you would not be on this broadcast. These people would not be watching this live. Those 81 people that registered for this broadcast would not be able to watch the replay. The hundreds of people I've been able to help over the last 6 years would not be able to say, man, I got my endeavor off the ground. Man, I realized that I have been wasting my time at this 9 to 5. Man, you know what? I didn't even realize all that was on the inside of me. I just been sitting down on all this gift, this talent, all these opportunities to make money and to have the life I wanted to if they had never encountered me. Think about it. You are 1 to 2 calculated risks away from unlocking some stuff that's going to transform your life for forever. I can say that. I will tell you that until I'm blue in the face. You are always 1 to 2 calculated risks away from unlocking the life you really want to live. And this is not just about business and endeavors and visionaries. This is a life principle. When we decide to make those 1 to 2 calculated risks, whether that could be investing into stock, that could be going after another degree program, that could be moving into another city. And once we say, okay, you know what, I've got about 1 to 2 calculated risks that I need to take to unlock what I really want, it makes you say, you know what, I'm only just 2 steps away. I'm only 1 step away. Because somebody watching this has probably already taken that first calculated risk, not realizing it was a calculated risk. So step 1 is done. And I'm giving you guys that 1 to 2 range because all my 6 years of coaching and life coaching and ministering and building brands and businesses, I recognize that a lot of times once us people make those 1 or 2 decisions, we pick up momentum, we see results, we recognize, you know what, I do have what it takes. For some people, it'll be something as simple as putting your business out there on Facebook. And you know what? They'll be overwhelmed by the support that they have. Like, oh my God, congratulations. Oh my God, I know you needed that. Oh man, I just had a conversation with somebody yesterday that was saying they needed this. And then boom, now you got a connection. Now you got a potential client, or now you got somebody that's downloading your ebook or buying your song or wearing your hoodie, whatever it may be. But you are now entering into a life that you wanted to live. You wanted to be a fashion designer. You wanted to be a real estate investor. You wanted to be a business owner, entrepreneur. You wanted to be that kind of stuff. You wanted to be a life coach. You wanted to be a brand strategist. You wanted that. But you got to be willing to take a few calculated risks to get to that place. Step number 2, key number 2. And hear me, especially for those who have like some stuff that's going to involve some money, you got to be willing to give a little to get more. Hear me. Key number 2 for how you're going to maximize and monetize in 2022 is you've got to give a little to get more. I know we've heard that quote before. Give a little, get a little. No. Not in the year that you're designed to get some big results. You're going to give a little to get more. So somebody's probably saying, well, hey, Coach Ed, how do I give a little and get more? Real simple. You be strategic. Let me tell you something. There is absolutely nothing wrong with being calculated and strategic and organizing thoughts, interactions, movements. There's nothing wrong with it. The people that we admire the most are strategic as hell. I'm telling you, they know what to say. They know who to say it to. one of the keys to win this year, and this is probably the most important key if you ask me, you've got to know when to give a little to get more. It is okay to do things with a plan of action in mind. It is okay to give things, and I'm not, don't make this spiritual, please. It is okay to set yourself up in position by saying, you know what, I'm going to give a little here so I can get some more in return. For example, I'm going to use somebody on the screen. So say Jadarian Sanders. Jadarian Sanders is based in Atlanta. If Jadarian Sanders is a mega influencer that I want to put in my hoodie, right? And I say, hey, Jadarian, you know, hope all is well. I know you through social media. We both went to Morehouse, blah, blah. Hope all is well. Haven't seen you, nobody, haven't talked to you. But hey, man, you know what? I've got this clothing brand that I just want to put in front of you. Let me know what you think. I want to send you a hoodie. Just let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it. And if you like it, rock it, cool. If you don't like it, throw it away, right? That's giving a little to get more, because I put myself in a position, A, because I've scoped out Jadarian. I've recognized that he's a mega influencer in a city that I do not live in. He is somebody who is active, has a social life. People know his name. I know that if I'm sending him a quality product that I know he's going to love, he's going to wear it. And because he's going to wear it, I see that he's always out on Instagram. He's doing this. He's everywhere. He's always taking photos. Boom. Now my little strategic move by way of using my connections to get something in his hand now became an opportunity for me to attract customers, for me to expose what I do to other people, simply because I said, you know what, I'm going to give a little to get more. I'm giving this little expecting more. There is nothing wrong with you saying, you know what, I'm giving this here because I expect some more in return. Strategy. Y'all in the comments right there, strategy. Those that are watching on Instagram, you can type it there too. Strategy. There is nothing wrong with living a life and framing your life and framing your year to include some intense and intentional strategy. Write that down. Intense and intentional strategy. You know why these major ads and these major networks and these major brands can draw any of us in, no matter if we like their stuff or not, is because they're very intentional about what they do. They know when to put certain things on. Right now, the college football championship is playing between Georgia and Alabama. I have not seen a single commercial that has appealed to a woman in the last hour or so. And we won't see one. You know why? Because this is a heavily dominated male market, and they're going to make sure that everything they put in front of people right now is going to make the man say, you know what, I need to purchase this. I need to order this. I've seen 4 Dodge truck commercials. I've seen a couple beer commercials. Why? Because they know what they're appealing to. They're saying, you know what, I'm going to be strategic. This is the biggest night in college football, and I know my audience is going to have nothing but men here. Let me put some things in front of them that's going to make them want to get it. Or let me put some things in front of them that the people that they're in the room with are going to say, oh my God, you know what, that guy may like that. He may like this. Let me set myself up. Giving a little. Somebody somewhere had to give a little bit. They had to pay for an ad, but they knew that what they were giving was going to bring the investment, going to bring a return on investment that they could not have gotten if they had not taken advantage of this full moment. Key number 2 for maximizing and monetizing in 2022, give a little to get more. It is okay to be strategic in what you give and also have a plan for the more that you're going to receive. Y'all got that? Y'all got it? Key number 3, and I'm gonna turn my Instagram off. Hey, if you guys are missing this, you can go to, you can't go, but you can watch the replay. So go to my Instagram link tree and follow me on YouTube. The rest is for the good people here that signed up. Sorry about that, y'all. I want to turn it back here. So key number 3 is invest up. Now I can talk how I want to talk, excuse me. So let me tell you something. When it comes to building anything, when it comes to establishing anything that you want to last, especially for those of you all who have endeavors that you want to transform people's lives, you've got to invest up. I'm gonna give it to you straight. You don't know enough. You do not know enough. And if you are one of those people who are not comfortable with investing up, you're going to be stuck and you're never going to access surplus because you're too stingy to hold on to what you have to obtain more of what you need. To piggyback off of key number 2, you're not just giving a little for no reason to get a little. You're giving a little to get more. Let me tell you something. One of the best investments I made in this last 6 months of this year was into me. I invested up. I recognize that what I've done so far has been great, but I do not have the knowledge for the next level that I want to get to. Now, my next level, I'll be honest with you, my next level includes Me figuring out, or not figuring out, me aligning myself to be in a position where all the webinars and workshops that I typically charge for, I can offer to Black and brown business owners for free of charge. So in about 2 months, when you start seeing a bunch of tax write-off webinars and all these different things, you see me leveraging my network and having these things, sign up. But let me tell you why I did it. I recognized that my next level, what I wanted to do, how I wanted to maximize or take this thing to the next level, I didn't want to have to charge people for anything. So what does that mean? I'm in a country that gives out federal and state level grants. So do you know what I could do with the $250,000 grant to a Black man who has a Black owned business, who simply just wants to educate and empower Black and brown business owners, small business owners specifically, on the things that help them be successful business owners? That is almost like a direct quote from my grant pitch. So what did I do? How did I invest up? I invested into spending some time with somebody who writes grants. We have a meeting on Tuesday. Not only did I invest in my time, when he sent an invoice for his time, I paid it. You know why? Because I recognize that I had to invest up into what I need to make me feel fulfilled and to grow whatever I have in my hands. Let me tell you something about it. You are not supposed to not grow what's in your hands. You are not supposed to walk around fumbling, what do they say, fumbling the bag or failing at a bunch of stuff. That's not the Creator's design for you and what he's put in front of you. That stuff is supposed to hit. As I told you all a couple minutes ago, you are supposed to make $1 and a difference at the same time. You are supposed to come up off what you love. You are supposed to be in purpose and still be profitable. Now, every profit you make may not be from that actual act called purpose, but you should be purposeful and profitable. That should be who you are as a person. You are supposed to live in surplus. You are not born to struggle. Struggle is a part of the journey, but struggle is a temporary part of every man's journey. Temporary. And if you've been struggling too long, I guarantee you there's a space in your life where you have not invested up. You probably invested down, which brought you no return, or probably didn't even realize you were making investments, because honestly, every day is an investment. What you do with your time and your energy every single day, that's an investment. So let me ask you this: how are you investing your time? Before you even try to rationalize, how do I invest up for my thing? How are you investing into you every single day? I'm not going to sit here and tell you you got to read 18 self-help books and to listen to 13 podcasts. No, that's unrealistic. You got life, you got kids, you want some time off. No pressure. Like I made a video today saying, you know what, we're telling everybody pressure, pressure, pressure. Forget pressure. Pace. What is your pace supposed to be? You ain't got to hit the ground running and blaze a trail in the first 30 days. That's stupid, because most people who are going to do that are going to burn out by February 26th. You don't want to be there. So find your momentum. But my goal is, my statement here is like, what are you and how are you investing into you every single day? What are you doing with your time? Now, somebody needs to read a self-help book. Somebody needs to find a podcast to get more knowledge about their area. Somebody needs to do investing in a course to learn how to edit photography better. Somebody needs to invest in something to excel, to expand their knowledge. But some of us, I just want to know, well, how are you investing in yourself every single day? Because the real talk, the real game is, yes, you have to invest up, but you have to invest consistently. And that consistent investment will always be into you. Hear me. The best return on investment you could have is the consistent investment into you. You right there, the one watching this replay, the one that thought is going to watch the whole Instagram live and get all of it. No, you have to invest into you consistently. I promise you, when you recognize that you are your best investment, because especially in the lane of business, you the CEO, sometimes you're the marketing director, sometimes you're the finance person, sometimes you're the tax collector. You got a lot of hats to wear, but you got to know what hat to put on, what responsibilities come with what hat. That's where investments come in, because the CEO can't think like the person that has to be creative to snap the shots, because snapping the shots and getting the right angle is a different hat. But managing a business and scaling your photography business to go to the next level to bring in more money, that's two different hats, baby. You got to pick a different hat. But you've got to invest up sometimes, most times, to recognize and to obtain the knowledge you actually need and that you're looking for. It's always centered around investing up. How is this going so far? Drop in the chat. Let me know if this is helping. I forgot to look and see if the chat was going on, but give me a thumbs up. Let me know if this is really helping. Oh, y'all have been chatting the whole time. Sorry about that. Love it, love it. Okay, and honestly, you got, as in addition to your registration, you all will be getting this replay in addition to this thing here, the PowerPoint PDF as well. So let's slide on into key 4. Key number 4. Now this is my favorite one. I can spend a little time here. Key number 4 of how you're going to maximize and monetize in the year 2022, because I recognize and I let you guys know it's supposed to be a year that brings big results in the beginning. Key number 4, you've got to be comfortable being visible. I mean, if this was a church, you should say amen, or if this is you teaching good Negro, what, just give me something. But key number 4, you've got to be comfortable being visible. Let me tell you what has happened in the automated world. Because of automation, everybody designed to do things with ease. People, you teach a Negro, people have become automated things have now lost their hit. Yes, they're efficient. Yes, they're fast, but perfect example. We all go to Chick-fil-A consistently, not because they have the best chicken in the world, because they really don't. But because of the welcoming touch that we get, it feels individual. Like they take to everyone. They train their employees to say, my pleasure. The car in front of you is going to get a my pleasure. The person that's coming behind you is going to get a my pleasure. The person ordering inside when you're in the drive-thru is going to get a my pleasure. But that right there makes the experience totally different. And it makes it's addictive. Good things are addictive, right? And let me tell you this, visibility is a good thing. Hear me. Good things are great. Good things are amazing, but you are supposed to be visible. Now I'm gonna give you a secret. So I'm gonna show you on my Instagram. So not even 4 months ago, I was barely at the 7K mark, right? Right now, I'm at the 12.3K. I'm not even sure you can see it, right? But you know how that happened in a short amount of time? Visibility. Visibility. As brilliant as I am, as amazing as I am, as resourceful as I am, as knowledgeable as I am, if I'm not visible, if people don't have a chance to experience that, see that, hear that, I will never be able to touch the markets I'm supposed to. As I told you guys in the beginning, you are supposed to be a big deal. You are supposed to influence the masses. And if I have not said that, let me say it right now. You're designed to influence the masses. You're designed to leave your imprint on culture and society and your city. But you are not going to do that being invisible. You're not going to do that being not heard. We need to hear you. We need to see you. How does that tie into maximization and monetization in 2022? Ain't nobody buying nothing they can't see. We don't even trust stuff we can't see. I'll put myself on the cross again. You can't tell me too many business strategists that are better than me. But you can tell me some business strategists who are more visible than me. And their visibility is the reason why I haven't had $1 million year just yet. Because there are business strategists that I follow online that have had multi-million-dollar years. I was excited about my 200K during the pandemic. And these people are racking out $2 million years in the midst of a pandemic. But I recognize that visibility was the issue. Could I tell you this? Could the reason you have not stepped into certain rooms or stepped into certain realms of influence or even accessed certain things for your business, for your endeavor, for your vision, simply because you're not visible enough? Could it be that the issue is not your creativity? Could it be that the issue is not your ability to create or to do? Could it be none of those things? Could it be the lack of visibility? Is this thing on? Could it be that? Let me tell you why. People don't trust what they don't see. One of the things that my business coach told me before I transitioned out of her in that segment of life, she says, until you become comfortable being seen, you're going to stay broke. My business coach told me that. Until you get comfortable being seen, you're going to stay broke. I know depending on what your realm of life looks like, you get sick of seeing people on Facebook and all this kind of stuff doing this, that, they always doing something, always saying something, always posting something. And that stuff will allow you to join it, to lock yourself into a prison where you're not producing, but they are. Our inability to acknowledge or accept that visibility works will allow you to step into a prison and your stuff won't sell, your stuff won't move, your wisdom won't be experienced, your intellect won't be experienced, your knowledge won't be shared because you're afraid that you're gonna have to be too active, or that somebody's gonna say, why are you always doing this? Why are you always posting? Why are you always tweeting? Why are you always reeling or TikToking? Why? Well, because this is the way, this is one of the methods in which my creator has given me to get my message out. I don't care what your message is. You could be selling homemade lip gloss. You better make a reel with that thing. Like, you cannot allow other people's perceptions to put you in a prison. That is where, that prison is really called poverty, and you can't live there. This year is supposed to bring you some great results, but you've got to be okay with being visible. And being visible means everything that you think it does. Yep, you got to change. Yep, you got to try a little harder. Yep, you got to make some adjustments. You got to do all that because you don't want to be visible and then be like, oh man, this is, nope. So the moment you had to be visible, to be seen the way you need to be seen for your future and for what you have going on, you stepped on the scene. It's kind of like, nah, that ain't it. I'll tell you this. One of the individuals that pushes me is actually on this call, and she told me, all right, so, you know, no more t-shirts for these webinars and stuff. Like, we just see you in a different light. Because I'll throw a t-shirt and a hat on in a heartbeat and just go for it and give you the best of the best. But sometimes I need to be visible and be seen in the right way. So I put my little button up on, kept my hat, but I met in the middle, right? Because I recognize I want to be visible, I want to be seen doing the right thing and looking the right way. So for example, when I do this moment right here, where I ask you all to take out your phones and go to your Instagram and to make a story or a boomerang of me teaching, I wanted to make sure that when that moment happens, because it's happening right now, that I appeared to be the way that other people need to view me, to trust me. So I can get you to point A to point, I can get you from A to Z, but I need you to believe that before we start to work. Because I need you to be able to be okay with investing up. And sometimes presentation is the reason we haven't obtained some of the stuff that we're supposed to obtain. But what does that go back to? It goes back to key number one, that fear. We got to move fearless. We've got to move fearless. So back to key 4, presentation. You've got to be comfortable being visible. I'll give you this. Visibility is the key to money in 2022. Visibility is the key to money in 2022. If you're looking for a place to do your boomerang or record it, this is the moment right here. Visibility is the key to money in 2022. I can't say it enough. It's going to be big results. If you choose to push it, you're going to have big results. But you've got to be okay with being visible in the process. So guess what that means? You got to change. Let me tell you, love. Let me tell you, bro. Change is here. You got to change. Everybody's changing. Everybody's evolving. Everybody's morphing. They're stepping out as the new person, the new version of them, the bold version of them, the confident version of them, the sexy version of them. Whatever your story is, you got to show up how we need to see you. And if you're somebody that produces stuff, you got to produce it and put it in front of people consistently, so that they know that you do it. In the years in which when I do my tracking for my years and how much I'm making, on the moments and the times and seasons where I am not as visible, my money suffers. So you're gonna see a whole lot of me this whole damn year. But I can automatically track it. My Q4 of last year, perfect example, transparent moment. Very dark place for me. I was not happy. I was thrilled. I was ready to throw all of this stuff in. I was going to bartending school, AKA the circus. I was going to be a bartender I wanted to be at a club or something, but I was going to take wherever they put me because the bartending school had a job placement program. I was in a dark spot. And so because I was in a dark spot, my visibility decreased because I stopped showing up as not just on social media. I stopped showing up as myself when I went places. I was not me. I didn't look like me. I did not look like the man that you could trust the wisdom that came out of my mouth. I was just out here bad. And so therefore, everything about me took a hit. But the moment I popped up like, hey, I'm back, surprise, still here, boom, the floodgates open. See, so visibility is going to be your key for making money in 2022. That's going to be in so many different ways. Where there's consistency with social media, please, if I told you already, get over your fears or your willingness to be inconsistent with social media. Also, it means showing up to places and going to do things that you don't want to do. I'm telling you already, I went this year to my fraternity's Founders Day celebration by myself because I said, you know what, if visibility is going to be a key for me this year, and if I'm going to be on daytime television, I'm going to start to rub shoulders with some big wigs, I've got to be in a room that does not look like my normal circumference or my normal community or my circle. So I went to my Founders Day party with my business cards. I strolled. I was a Kappa. I did a good time. But the moment somebody started, what up, bro? What do you do? Well, you know, I'm a business strategist. I've been here 3 years. Oh, man, you know what? Let me connect you with such and such. Boom. Now I went from having a good time being yo noob to the stars to passing out business cards at the Kappa party. Visible. Because I recognize that sometimes I am just one step away, one strategic, where was it at? One strategic move, one calculated risk away from entering into a space that I could have never gotten there on my own. This is not a key, but make it key 4.5. The places you need to get, you're not going to get there on your own this year. Hello, key 4.5. I don't have a nice little slide for it, so just put it in your notes. Key 4.5, the places you need to be this year, you're not going to get there alone. Have the conversation, make yourself uncomfortable, build new relationships, do partnerships, look into partnerships. I mean, don't just jump into everyone, but at least examine, open yourself to partnerships, because where you need to be, you're not going to be able to get there on your own this year. You don't know the right person. I'm not trying to be the Debbie Downer or the rude guy, but you don't know the person you need to know to get where you need to get this year. But somebody that you know or somebody that you will meet knows them personally. And what your resume could never do, that one person could do in one text message. I received that for myself. What my resume and my portfolio could never do, somebody could do with a text. Hey, bro, somebody I want you to meet. I'm finna link y'all. Bet. Boom. Now you got a six-figure contract with the cosmetic brand or with the government agency. All simply because one person sent one text message, but you built a relationship, but you first opened yourself up to building something with that one person. You see how this flows? This is how it's going. So key 4.5 was that. Key number five, plan big. Now I kind of hit on planning a little bit at the very beginning of this. And I talked about how people are afraid to plan. We are afraid to, especially to plan big. Let me tell you something. If you really grab hold and believe what I said to start this off, that 2022 is the year to bring big results to you, you got to plan big. I had to look at my own goals maybe 2 days ago, and I said, this really ain't even big enough. Scared myself. I was like, oh shit, yikes. But you know what? Okay, I'm gonna go a little harder, because I can't wrap my mind around $50,000 months right now. I can't. But if I saw something that said make it 100K, make the goal 100K per month, why not? Why I don't deserve $1 million a year? Your plans, whatever goals you have right now, double them. If you have goals written, hear me, if you have goals written down right now, double them. Give your creator or your belief system, whether you're manifesting or if you believe in God and praying or talking to the ancestors, give your powers something to do, something else to work with. Double that goal. Double your goals, double your goals, double your goals. Because this is the year I do believe your wildest dreams can happen. They can happen. Yes, they require hard work. Yes, they require consistency. You already know that. Yes, they require you to invest up. You need new knowledge. Yes, all of that. It is there. It is there. It is there. It is there. But this is the year where your wildest of dreams can happen. I would hate for you to get to December 31st and you had a little dream, a little goal, and your little goal was met. Think about it. Think about what happens if you get to the end of the year and you said, you know what, I had a goal for an extra $50,000 this year. And that was it. And you know what you did all year? You worked towards 50K. Nothing is wrong with working towards 50K. Sometimes you got to build that stuff up. But I believe in you, and I believe in what you have in front of you, that you can do a whole lot more than that. I told you all, my goal was to have $1 million a year. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I'm praying in tongues and all kind of stuff. How is this going to happen? And then boom, the idea for grants to offer services and to offer workshops for Black and brown business owners dropped out of the sky. Do you know how many $1 million plus grants are awarded by the federal government every year? Over 300 for sure. Who said I can't get one? Now so when I stopped and said, let me dream big, I recognized that I could step into a whole nother realm and meet my $1 million goal, because $1 million check is $1 million check. See, plan big. This is the year that your wildest dreams can happen. I'm telling you, I'm not just selling you miracle water. I'm telling you what I truly believe. This is the year your wildest of dreams can happen. They can. And I'm gonna tell you why I know they can, because I watched in the middle of a global pandemic, people's wildest dreams came true. I saw people flourishing, thriving, people were flourishing and thriving that have never flourished and thrived before. I got a client that took a 20K PPP loan and turned into $500,000 in 6 months. In the middle of a pandemic, like in the middle of the pandemic, got a $20,000 PPP loan, turned it into over 500K. I'm telling you all, this is the year where some good stuff, not bad stuff. We're done with the bad stuff. Some good things can happen if you put in the work, put your keys to use, and really just decided that I'm gonna go ahead and do it this year. I'm gonna put my little fear to the side. I'm gonna sit my nerves on the shelf, and I'm just gonna go for it. Because let me tell you something about it. I know it's only 16 of us on here right now, and the other 80 will watch the replay. These people this year, people are going for it. People are going for it. I mean, you got people launching, building, doing, chasing. People are going for it. Because if nothing else was learned over the last 2 years, that life is short and it's not promised. And I don't want to leave here knowing that I could have done more, or I could have obtained more, and I could have had more, but I didn't, because I didn't go for it. You won't catch me like that. I'm not going out of here like that. I'm gonna go out here saying, you know what, in my obituary, this Negro went for it all. Scared, nervous, no resources, not really sure where it's coming from. We'd always be able to be said that he went for it. And I want that to be you, because people like that make history. Boring people don't change the world. Boring people don't change the game. People who are saying, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. P. Diddy went from making tracks at Howard to managing some of the biggest rap artists of our time. He's crossed over into pop culture, literally pop culture, with Sean John clothing, all these kind of things. And do y'all know that, I know Black people don't drink Ciroc like that anymore, but we do know that Diddy owns Ciroc. We look at some of our favorite influencers, and Rihanna went from barely singing to barely dancing to a few good songs, and now she is Fenty. She's got a whole lingerie line that is not just for women, but also for men. She also has a makeup company. Somebody somewhere said, Rihanna, you got to go for it, baby. Your voice is not that great. You got to go for it. Figure it out. We'll try it. And then boom, look at her getting ready to open retail stores in 5 cities in this country in the middle of a quote unquote global pandemic. People are going for it. People are going for it. You want to be one of the people that say, you know what? He went for it. She really went after it. And it worked. Like, it legit worked. We don't know how it worked. Like, for example, y'all gonna be the first ones to hear when I get my grant. Y'all gonna be the first ones to enroll in some of this free courses. So I got my grant. Had my $1 million year. Didn't have to do anything but submit some paperwork and believe God. Riri slander, that's funny. I'm gonna give you a bonus key because I love giving value, is giving as much as I can since I have you here. And we got 5 minutes left. Key number 6, you gotta say the right stuff. Key number 6, you gotta say the right stuff. I don't care if you're an atheist, a Buddhist, a Catholic, a Western African believer, whatever, a witch, whatever it may be. You've got key number 6 to maximizing and monetizing in 2022 is you've got to say the right stuff. One of the first assignments I give all my clients, and some of them laugh, some of them think they're above it, but everybody does it. I want you to come up with 10 affirmations. First homework assignment. I will talk to you about your money. I will help you build out your business. I'm gonna help you restructure your prices, but you need to learn how to say the right stuff. Because a lot of the stuff you need me to say to you, you could have said to yourself. And you could have gotten some of the same revelation information you needed for your next level if you said the right stuff to you. So my second homework assignment for you all tonight, say the right stuff. I need all of you guys to write down at least 10 affirmations centered around you. So how, sometimes people just make affirmations for their business. So they get up in the morning and they're only affirming their business. I need you to affirm you, your business, your body, and your mind. That's it. Those are the 4. I need you to affirm you, your business, your body, and your mind. So come up with 10, at minimum 10 affirmations that you can say every morning that affirm those areas. 10. I'm gonna tell you this, when I recognize the power of words, we all know it, life and death is in the power of the tongue. We see how manifest culture has turned, God's will, permissive will. We see it. You can use words to shape your reality, even if it's out of alignment with what's supposed to happen. Let me say that again. You can use words to shape your current reality, even if it's out of alignment with what's supposed to happen. Now that's for Christians. If you're not a Christian, just know you can use your words as your biggest weapon of choice for success. Your words are your weapon of choice for success. There are certain things you can handle with your words that you'll never have to work to do. That is good to me. Thank you. Somebody put that in the chat for me. There are certain things you can use your words to fight that you'll never have to use your hands or use your work to do. You'll never have to. There's literally some things you can defeat and rearrange and move and bring into your life simply by way of your words. I tell you this, Black people, especially Black and brown people, we don't, self-affirm enough. And then sometimes if we are self-affirming, we'll only self-affirm in certain areas and we'll forget the other areas, which is why I gave you guys the assignment to 4 areas, at least 4. Deal with those, say the right things to you, because your words are going to do the things that you need them to do, and they're going to do it fast. One of the things I'm believing for is numbers to the Powerball. And I say, okay, Lord, whatever you give, I'm going to use my Powerball, going to pay my tithes, going to pay off my student loans, pay off my mama's house. I got a plan for give a little, get a little, get more. I had a plan for the Powerball, but I make sure I say, you know what, Lord, if you want to give me this 655 million, I'm ready for it. Words. So when you also see that somebody won the lottery and you never saw their face, just know it was me and I'm out of here. That's it. But saying the right stuff. So I want to recap the keys really quick. Key number 6, say the right stuff. Key number 5, plan and plan big. Key number 4, be comfortable being visible. Key number 3, investing up. Invest and invest consistently. Key number 2, give a little, get more. Be strategic, give a little, get more. And key number 1, you've got to start this year off fearless. This year is all about momentum. You'll be able to do a whole lot more with momentum than what you could do in a moment with just passion a second. So allow yourself to get small victories, to take small steps and build the momentum you need to blaze this year. I promise you, this year will bring about big results if you choose to make it happen. So before we dismiss, I want to offer you guys this. I talked about it in my in the beginning before I hit the record button, but here's my special offer. For the next 48 hours, my premium coaching services are are half off, like legitimately for 50% off. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. My business coach told me it's the dumbest idea in the world. Why would you do this? But I said to myself, I'm putting out value. I'm going to help these people. I'm going to help my people get to what they need to do. Key number 5 was plan and plan big. But I want to present that to you all, my special offer, 48 hours. So basically, if you book in the next 48 hours, you can use the code half off and you'll be able to book the session before January ends. So basically but you have to book it in 48 hours. That's the kicker. You have to book it in 48 hours, but it can be utilized before the month ends. We got a question. How can someone become more visible if the person is more reserved? Get over that. You can be reserved, but you can also step into character. For example, all y'all love Beyonce. For a minute, when Beyonce, I believe she's going through a personal identity thing, she let the world know that when she steps on stage, she's a whole different person. The woman that we see is quiet in demeanor, kind of reserved, but she steps on stage and she's not a monster. She's like a walking phenom. Tap into that. Danielle, Coach Ev came because Evan S. Brown wasn't always comfortable being like this person, this kind of like in your face and giving it to you raw. That wasn't always my thing. Danielle, that was Pastor Ev for the longest. So all about love and nurturing people and like pushing them, but like making sure I did it in this like beautifully crafted way. Coach Ev can say, hey, no, love, this is what works. What you're doing is not going to work. Hey, bro, we need to make some changes here. Your prices are too low. We can't do that. Your price point being so low is telling a story about the quality of what you produce. Evan could not deliver that the way it needs to be delivered. Coach Ed put his hat to the back, put my little referee shirt on, and it's like, you can't tell me nothing. So do that, keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. You might have to transform. I'm not telling you to conjure up an alter ego, but you may have to step into a whole nother side of you that already exists, because I do believe this, Danielle, your creator has already put inside of you everything that you needed to be able to do and be who you're supposed to be. You may just have to access that level or that person that you're not familiar with just yet, but it exists and it's there. I'm telling you, it exists and it is there. So again, my premium offer, 48 hours. You have 48 hours to book any of my coaching sessions for half off. Screenshot that. The code is actually half off, all caps. The sessions must be booked or must be fulfilled in the month of January, but you have 48 hours before that code automatically turns off. Just putting it out there. Also, if you're somebody saying, hey, you know what? I have a business, or I'm already making some progress, I'm making some steps, but I really, really, really need to be a part of this. I need some accountability. I need you, Coach F. I need you consistently. And hey, you know, I may not be at a point where I can afford to do a coaching session, even though they're 50% off, and you guys eat, drink, and shop and dress like a crazy. Y'all are amazing when it comes to fashion. But I understand investing up sometimes is the thing you have to work yourself into, which is okay, because I, at some point in time, had to work myself into the mental awareness and the mental acceptance of investing up. But needless to say, I have a monthly option, a monthly coaching program called the Coach's Corner, where we do monthly training modules, goal setting, weekly accountability, interactive assignments. All of my network, all of my friends, all of my peers that are like at my level or higher than me, I have them come in and do sessions. We just started off 3 months ago. Open enrollment ends on January 31st. It's only $26. I don't know how you don't have $26, but I'm telling you, you've got to invest up. So if you need me, get your one-on-one session for 50% off, half off. I see some of my other clients are in here. And then also join the Coach's Corner. I promise you this is going to help you get to where you're trying to go. Not because I'm just saying it because it sounds good. I've got proven results. I have done my client roster over the last 4 years, and I have crossed, I'm like $20,000 away from the $1 million mark in client revenue. AKA my clients have made some great money with my assistance. I want to bring that to you. It won't always be at this point, this place, at this cheap, because that grant's coming. Well, it actually might get a little lower because the grant's coming, I believe God. But just in case it doesn't, I still want to be able to give you this value, this mind that people have invested up into me, and I want to give that to you. So these are the options and the ways you can connect with me. Of course, I'm on Instagram. My website is www.coachev. I do want to take some questions now, so I'm going to close this screen now to answer some of you all's questions. Please feel free to flood this inbox. We got like 5 more minutes, and I want you to take full advantage of it because you need to, and I'm giving it for the free. So half off is the code, the Coach's Corner, and you can you can join the Coach's Corner on my website, www.coachev.com, and click Coach's Corner in the top right corner, and it'll take you right to where you need to be. So let's do this. Let's open this thing up for questions. Who has some questions for me? We got 5 minutes, and I want to make sure I answer as many as I can to assist you as you move forward in your endeavors for this year. No questions? Or somebody typing? I'll give a few more seconds. So I know how it is sometimes. And Danielle, thank you so much for being the bold one to ask those questions. Your question. That's a really challenging thing sometimes for individuals to recognize that I may have to change how I'm comfortable, or I may have to step into a whole nother person in a certain degree, but it does work out well, and it brings great results.
I do have one question.
Okay, no problem, sir. Hey, Josh.
How are you, Coach L? First of all, congratulations. This was great. When it comes to structuring business and monetizing and maximizing, how would you suggest going about structuring payment for those that, have a business that they render services and then they get, money for it?
Okay, that's a great question. So for those that are watching the replay, he's pretty much saying, how should I structure to make sure I get my money? So I will say this, depending on your business or your endeavor type, if you are a service-based business, if you offer anything from consultations to sessions, I suggest you charge your fee up front. And you set your fee to be whatever your fee is going to be. One thing that I don't argue with anymore is my prices. My prices are indeed my prices. I value myself and I value my time. And I also know that I have what it takes to give you what you need to get wherever you're trying to go. And if you can confidently say that about you, about your skill set, about your level of knowledge, that you know that when somebody sits down with you, you're going to give them that A1 stuff, boom, price point, hey, here's a booking, you pay up front. Boom, I'll see you at the end of your session. If you are a service-based business that may be a larger ticket item, say 5,000 and above or beyond, it may be something you should consider doing a pricing structure, like a breakdown, like 2 or 3 payments, only so that you're able to pay, show your clients your progress, boom, and they pay at that moment in time. So I would always say service-based businesses, like low maintenance stuff or low impact, get your money up front, automated, get it automatically, make sure you have your terms and conditions, no refunds, or if you can move your appointments around, kind of verbalize that. But if you are doing any kind of larger ticket items like events and things like that, I would say set your payment system up or set your payment schedule up with your clients or with your potential clients to be payouts based upon days. So I have clients that I work with monthly, and their payments are automatically drafted on the 1st and the 15th. Because that works for me. But my clients that I take on just consist individual strategy that are not on a retainer, they're pay up front before this session. So Josh, I hope that answered your question. Let me know if it didn't. Lorenzo Harmon asks, how do you keep going if being visible isn't working as well as you planned? It may be the way that you planned may need to be pivoted a little bit. Lorenzo, if you don't mind, what exactly is your particular industry? One thing I can definitely say is that when things don't work in the lane or the lane and the level of business, it is often just you need to make some sort of changes, and some of those changes will probably come by way of investing up to getting a new level of knowledge. Because one of the things about it, typically those that we need to learn from have the knowledge that we need to know for this current season and for the next season to come. Okay, so content creation. I would say, Lorenzo, is this from the barbershop? Sorry, I think me and Lorenzo go to the same barbershop. Oh, okay. What I would say for you to have a business that is centered around creating content for others. Lorenzo, I can say this because I think it's okay. Is it clear that you're a content creator for other people? Like if I send a stranger to your page right now, would they be able to say, oh, I can tell he creates content for other people? And if so, how are you presenting your content for others? Is it more so, do you have a reference point or a business page that just showcases or stores the content that you've made for other people? Or is it more so something you're saying in your verbiage or your terminology? I see you said yes. I don't know what you said yes to. I'm going to answer those other 2 questions. I definitely want to make sure Lorenzo, unmute yourself and give a little language. I think it's a mixture of both for other people and my personal brand. So when it comes to you want to build stuff for other people, your personal brand will be just one of your reference points. People need to be able to see that you do what you do for other people. It's called social proof. So for example, when I had my design agency that did websites, flyers, logos, even though I am Coach Ev and my Coach Ev platform was centered around my personality and me being a resource for business and business owners, my brand page, my business brand page, Vision Birthers, stored all of the stuff that me and my team had created for people, whether it's books, covers, CD covers, websites, logos, all that kind of stuff was situated in one particular place. So it may be you need to create a place or that houses simply just that. And you and who you are, let's say Lorenzo Harmon, who you are as a content creator as Lorenzo Harmon is Lorenzo Harmon Creates, right? And so your personal page or your personal outlet can simply just serve as a, hey, I do this for me. But when we go to Lorenzo Harmon Creates, I'm just making up something, we see that not only do you do that for you do that for Red Dot International and Jug Central. I'm just gonna think of stuff that's in the room, or Lighthouse. So I would definitely encourage separating those 2 to make sure that it's very clear that you actually do what you do. And I can guarantee you, if it is 100% clear, you're not saying it yourself, I'm a content creator. Because you can know how to do stuff and do it well for you. And sometimes people may bite and say, oh, you know what? How you do that? Let me know. How you do that? How did you do that? But often people don't know that you do what you do if you don't tell them. And if you don't have any social proof on social media, it's hard for them to connect fully, because like what they teach us in marketing courses is that you have to put something before somebody 7 times for them to actually jump onto it, especially if it's something that is centered around personal development. When it comes to flights, clothes, and shoes, the marketing turnaround time is 3. Put it in front of them 3 times, they'll purchase. This is why when we see on Facebook, we see guerrilla marketing ads. So if you get on Facebook right now, you'll see the Delta thing on the side because you looked at planes. You'll see the Gucci thing on the side, all because you've been there, right? And they know that guerrilla marketing says we have to put this in front of people 3 times. But when it comes to independent marketing, especially things that are centered around development and personal development, the target number is 7. That is always my base number. So you'll see this flyer 7 times, whether it's on my stories, but I have to diversify how I give you the information, but I'm going to give it to you at least 7 times because I know that it may take you 7 times for you to make the conscious decision that, hey, you know what, I'm going to invest in myself and to be a part. So Lorenzo, I hope that answered your question. If it did not, let me know and I'll take another stab at it. And while you're doing that, Frederick Alfonso, what's up, man? As a multi-hyphenate creative, what advice would you give on maximizing focus to all your areas? Picking 2 or 3. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm someone that can do it all. A lot. Let me say that. I'll do a lot. But one of the things that I recognize is that if I decided what I wanted to do and what I love to do, I'll be more effective and I'd be happier in that particular lane. So for example, Fred, I had a business strategy company in addition to a marketing and media agency. So basically you come to me for strategy, I'm going to sell you on this, and then I'm going to send you right over here to my team to create what we just talked about. So basically, I just invoiced you 2 or 3 times, and you never had to leave here. And it was always on the premise of, hey, you know what? You've already communicated your vision to me. I already know that I know the direction you need to go in. Let us handle it from here. Pay your invoice. So when I recognized that, even though that worked well for me for 5 years, it was not what I truly wanted to do. And so I decided to remove away from the digital, the media design stuff and just focus on coaching and strategizing. I did that because I knew that I was going to be best in the area that I love the most. Sometimes in certain seasons, it's not about where you're most profitable, it is where you are happiest. Because often you can put some extra energy and effort into where you're happiest, and it can become the most profitable. So in this season, what I'm doing right now is leaning into completely my strategy and my business coaching, primarily because this is what makes me happy. I did the design stuff because I could easily run a bag up. Our website's $2,000. So I could do 2 websites in a month, in a quarter, and never have to do anything else again. Even though that worked for profit, I was completely miserable because I was spending more time doing what I really didn't love to do instead of putting myself in a position to do what I love to do, where I feel effective, where I feel in purpose, and most importantly, where I am happy. But once you have all that stuff working together for you on one side, your energy level increases, your creativity increases, so you can often find ways to really close that money gap that you think that you're losing. You can close that money gap because it's something that you're passionate about. So I said that to narrow down to 2 and or maybe 3 or maybe even 1 for you, and lean into that. Give yourself 90 days and really lean into that and see what comes out of it. Because in addition to you having to retrain your mind, you also have to retrain your client and your customer base and those that see you to see you in a new light. Because I have people that ask me all the time, oh, you do websites? No, I do websites, but my primary source or my primary strength is helping people make money or grow their money that they're making. Websites is an additional thing that I learned how to do because there was a need and I saw where I could capitalize. Alexander asks, how do you find your niche effectively? Now, I want to say this before I answer this. If you have a question, go ahead and drop in there now. If not, this will be our last question. Alexander asks, how do you find your niche effectively? I will tell you this, it's a kind of a caveat or a piggyback off of what I was just sharing. Where you're happiest. One of the questions I always ask people, what would you do if you could do it for free? What would you do if you could do it for free? Often, if you have enough passion, enough love to do it for free, that is a place or a space where you really need to lean into. Also, other question I ask, most of us, or most question / statement, most of us are designed or called to help the us of yesterday. The you of yesterday. For example, my lean in for business owners is those who have not really made their first 50K. Because when you make your first 50K, the IRS makes you change. You have to learn a whole lot more about business to be able to make that 50 into 100K, right? And so because when I made my first 50K, I was completely uneducated on how entrepreneurship really works, because I got a business degree and a couple of certifications, but this journey called entrepreneurship is not what is taught in textbooks. So because I learned a lot of business stuff based upon textbooks that have not possibly been updated, I was really learning on the fly. So part of my niche is to help the business owners of yesterday, help business owners, but those particular business owners are the me of yesterday. So those who have a great idea, a great product, a great service, a great concept, but don't know how to get it started or it's stagnant. So my focus is started, stagnant, because I've both been started. I've also been started and not started, but not really making any progress. And I've also made some progress and become stagnant. So your niche is truly able to be found when you dive in. Okay, you know what am I supposed to help? Who am I supposed to help? But most of that is able to be found in your own individual story. And my call to help the me of yesterday, is it the me? Is it the old me? Or is this a new burden or a new push or a new initiative or a new zeal or fire I have for a new area that I do not know, but I'm interested in learning? And also, Alexander, if you sit down with me, I have this thing called a content map that I do with my clients, and I actually help them identify what their niche is. We go through like 13 questions. But most importantly in that, you're able to understand what you should be going into, where you should be leaning into, and most importantly, where you should be putting your time and your energy and your resources so that you can have a maximum impact. Dope. Well, I thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it for Play to Win. If you have not put me on your Insta story on the little boomerang, go ahead and do that now. Let the world know how great this was. The replay will go out tomorrow. In addition to the replay link, you'll also get the presentation. So you'll be able to watch this and save it and kind of do whatever you want to do with it. But I really want to make sure that I created something to start the year to prepare all that I could, all the people that I could, to go forward and have a great year. I promise you all, this is going to be the year that brings out some great results, and don't let anything stop you from getting what you're supposed to get. So again, thank you guys so much. Go to www.coachev.com, join the Coaches Corner for $26. And also don't forget to take full advantage of the 48-hour special where you can get a premium coaching service with me. All 3 of my coaching options are 50% off. That's a win. And it's only going to be up to 48 hours. So take advantage of that. Thank you guys so much. I look forward to seeing y'all soon. If you have any questions, DM me, text me, all that kind of stuff. I'm here to help. All right. Have a great night, guys.